Hello, peak performers. I have a question for you. How often do you reach the end of a week and feel like you worked incredibly hard, but somehow you spent the entire week reacting? Reacting to emails, to meetings, to team members' needs or client problems. So often, when we find ourselves in this situation, leaders decide that it's a time management problem. But I believe that the real issue is something more specific. I believe the issue is deferred decision making. So many of the frustrations that we experience today are the result of a decision that we did not make 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months ago. So I want to talk about three contributing factors. I'm going to call them truths that I've observed while working with leaders and teams to help to eliminate those deferred decisions and put you more in the driver's seat and achieve proactive productivity. So the first truth is that we react because we didn't decide in advance. When we don't establish daily priorities, our inbox does determine our priorities for us. And when we don't define success for a quarter, other people's priorities fill our calendar. When we don't communicate expectations, whether it's around projects or initiatives, then our team's accountability and ownership starts to drift and our progress will stagnate. And so the result, it's not necessarily poor productivity. People might still be working hard. You as a leader still are working hard, but you're making less progress on what actually matters most. Now, the second truth is that time for strategizing and planning is a leadership responsibility, not a leadership luxury. I'm recording this at the start of the third month of a quarter. And that means it is the ideal time for leaders to be stepping out of the day to day, getting behind the closed door, and planning for the upcoming quarter. Yet so many leaders that I work with and talk with say, I don't have the ability to carve out time to even step into strategic thinking. But here's what the reality is. If your organization can't operate without you for half a day or for 2 days, you don't have a sustainable business. And so you've got to get to the point where you can step away from the day to day and that your team can function without you for 2 hours or 2 days, because that's actually what your team needs from you. They don't need more doing from you. They need more decisions from you. Your greatest value is not in doing the work as the leader or the owner. It's in creating clarity and making the decisions that are going to help everyone else do their work better. And that leads me to truth number three, which is that leadership is less about doing and more about deciding. So many leaders become successful because they were excellent implementers, great technicians, but anyone that's spent more than a day in a leadership position knows that there is a shift. There needs to be a shift, not only in mindset, but also in how you're spending your time. As a leader, as your responsibilities grow, your value comes less from completing tasks and more from making those decisions, deciding, where resources are going, deciding what is getting prioritized, maybe what is getting postponed, what might not be getting done. So while doing feels productive, because it's comfortable and familiar, but because it helps us to see immediate progress, deciding, while yes, it feels uncomfortable, it requires us to focus. It requires us to make those risk-taking decisions, right? But that are going to reap rewards long-term. So, the quality of the decisions you make today are going to shape that reality in 90 days. And future you is 9 out of 10 times going to be so glad that you made the decision when you did. So, I firmly believe that quarterly planning is one of the most important disciplines that a leader can develop. Not because planning predicts the future, but because it forces decisions before circumstances make them for you. So I'm going to leave you with two questions. What frustration or challenge in your business today can be traced back to a decision that was never made? And then what decision do you need to make now that your future self is going to thank you for 90 days from today. If you commit time to reflect on and answer just those two questions alone before you step into the new month or the new quarter, I firmly believe that you will achieve less reactivity and greater proactive productivity. Now, if you would like some help building a repeatable process, if you say, I'd love to do some planning, but I don't even know where to start, I've got you. I've created a quarterly planning playbook to help leaders do some reflecting, do some prioritizing, and make some decisions that then turns your strategy into action. All you have to do is reach out to me by email or by LinkedIn, ask for the playbook, and I will make sure that it gets delivered to your inbox right away. So here's to wishing for you a more productive and proactive quarter ahead, to becoming more confident and comfortable with decision making, and to seeing your goals come to fruition.